Hi there, I'm Alex from Southern Ukulele Store, and today we're going to take a look at 10 of the most exciting tenor ukuleles in the world right now. And you're thinking, oh, I watch all your videos, Alex, you think everything's great. But no, seriously, if I just step out of the shop for a minute and you look at these ukuleles, every single one of these ukuleles in this pile, and they range in price greatly from £200 to £2,000. Every single one of them ticks those boxes. In fact, these are the ukuleles that we try and kind of keep when we can in stock, and they're the ones that people walk in off the street and they go, do you know what, I've always wanted to try a Snail S60T or an L.Luthier or an AnueNue LION or a Moonbird, or all of these ukuleles are worthy of your attention today. But you know, before you get into this video, please do take a moment to subscribe. It's free. You can find it just below the video here on YouTube, and you can also find a little barrier in the bottom where you can choose each of these ukuleles individually if you don't fancy watching the whole video. Let's begin. The first ukulele we're going to look at today is the brand new AnueNue UCT10, also known as the UT10. The label says one thing, the box says another, so we've gone with UC10 for now because it's part of AnueNue's colour series. They take Pantone colours and they put them on the tops of ukuleles. So this ukulele has a solid spruce top, laminate mahogany back and sides. It's a classic AnueNue to look at. It even has this fabric pickguard here which matches the colour of the gig bag. And they're not just available in garish colours. You've got some really subtle kind of gunmetal green looking and black ukuleles in this series as well. So it's worth checking out the different colours if you like how it sounds. AnueNue's also, this is one of the rare ukuleles as well that's available in both rosewood and maple bridges. So this green one has a maple fingerboard and bridge. Maple is a softer wood than we're used to on a fingerboard, so it tends to absorb some of the sound and create a mellower ukulele as a result. It's the easiest way I can describe it, but you can hear it for yourself now. We're going to give it a play and see what you think. Next up today is the ever infamous Snail S60T. We voted this ukulele our ukulele of the year one year, and with good reason. It was a bit of a game changer when it came out. You had Pono, you had Kala, you had these solid acacia ukuleles. And if you're wondering why acacia is popular, it's because it's the most closely linked wood to Hawaiian koa. So you get Pacific acacia and different strains of Asian acacia that look a bit like koa, but quite often when they're stained they come up a slightly darker, browner colour. But acacia has those harp-like, slightly bubbly frequencies that you associate with koa. The S60T was the first one to come along in the days just before Flight became this massive name, that had like a decoration that you just couldn't resist. It was this case of style meets substance perfectly. You have this giant abalone rosette with ebony fingerboard and bridge. It's a string through bridge, so you would put the string into the hole, pull it out the sound hole and tighten the knot. And you also have a slotted headstock with these heart-shaped tuners. Front and back Padauk binding, so you've got red on brown, lovely combination colour-wise, and yeah, even an armrest for comfort when you're holding it for a long period of time. Let's give the S60T a play and see what you think. Next up today, we're going to take a look at the Millar Phil-T. We've talked about this a little bit in other videos, but it's a serious contender for Uke of the Year, this one. Phil spec'd this up. It has an American redwood top, American walnut back and sides. You've got front wood binding, back wood binding, a mahogany neck leading up to a slotted headstock with these aged antique style tuners. It has a 35mm nut width, but a really nice deep neck with a slight flat point on the back, so that if you're a finger picker, you've got a reference point to keep your thumb going up the neck as you play. Most importantly though, is the build quality. There's something about Millar that produces a custom shop result, but on a budget. And it's sometimes detrimental to say on a budget, but these ukuleles are produced by a family in Taiwan. They are custom spec'd in this case, and the woods they're using are just premium woods, great woods, and the uke sounds amazing. So let's give the Phil-T a play and see what you think. Next up today, we're going to take a look at the L.Luthier Le Maho. Now, if I was going to make a video of 10 fantastic tenor ukuleles, which I frequently do, and in fact I'm doing it right now, I would choose basically any L.Luthier as the representation of what makes a great tenor ukulele. You don't see me talking as warmly about these ukuleles as the other guys, because being a lefty, when I play them, I'm playing them upside down. But everyone here just bangs on about them. Customers come in, they come in sometimes with budgets that well exceed the price of this ukulele, and they walk away with one of these and they feel like they've pulled the wool over everyone's eyes and they've got some kind of best kept secret. It's almost sacrilege to tell you this is the best kept secret, but it really is. You have a slightly wider nut width with slightly wider string spacing. You have the standard paddle headstock with those antique tuners, the same as the ukulele we were just looking at before. It has a cutaway, it has the offset sound hole and a side sound port. It also has a pickup, so it's ready to go if you're somebody that plays on the stage. Let's give the Le Maho a play and see what you think. If you're a fan of the ukulele and you've been playing more than 5 minutes, you probably already know what this is. This is the Moonbird by AnueNue, the UT200. This ukulele was one of those game-changing ukuleles, came along a few years ago and made everyone raise their game. It was the first ukulele, I can honestly say, broke down that stigma that Chinese-made instruments are just cheap. And if you wanted something special, it needed to be made outside of China. We don't talk about that so much on video because you're trying to be culturally sensitive. But this was the first uke that really hit home to so many people about that. Look at the style of it. It's a piece of art to look at. It has a moon spruce top, which is a Swiss spruce top, with Indian rosewood back and sides, which are so dark they barely come up it just looks black or dark brown. But the grain, when you get close to it, it's chocolatey, it's deep, it's kind of like when you go to the supermarket and you think, I'm going to treat myself to green and blacks this week. It's one of them, you know. You have a satin neck, but a gloss finish on the body. You have AnueNue's very thin headstock with Goto planetary tuners. Yeah, great ukulele, unmissable. If you've never tried one, this is the one you're going to put on your list and say, I must try one of these one day. Let's give the UT200 a play and see what you think. Next up today, we're going to take a look at the Kanile'a KPA-T. The KPA-T has gone from being one of the lesser known models in the Kanile'a catalogue to one of the top, if not the top selling production model. The KPA-T is premium Hawaiian koa in this case, which means it has lots of what Kanile'a call drama, eccentricities to the grain, that as I turn the ukulele you start seeing different layers of the wood grain, really textured, deep piece of wood. It's the same on the back. The more you look at it, the more you see. You're never going to get bored of looking at it, certainly. But the front also has this really thick abalone rosette, which is bound with a purple tortoiseshell plastic binding, and you have the same binding going around the front. It has a standard Kanile'a headstock with gold tuners and black buttons. And my favourite feature actually is the abalone K brand logo. Maybe I'm just a little bit of a tart when it comes to cool headstocks and showing things off, but I just would never ever get bored of showing off this ukulele to people. It has a 38mm nut width, nice wide 30mm string spacing, perfect for a finger picker. It's a great ukulele. Let's give the KPA-T a play and see what you think. Next up today, we're going to take a look at the Flight Fireball Tenor. You recognise this ukulele, don't you? You should, because this ukulele is probably Flight's most popular model. And in the ukulele world in 2022, I really feel like the Fireball is the most influential instrument out there. Stylistically, it reminds me a lot of the AnueNue Moonbird. It's taken inspiration from things that have come before it. But being all solid mango and being so affordable at about £500 compared to, say, you know, the Hawaiian K brand starting at around £1,400 at the time of filming, this ukulele offers so much. It's brought a serious instrument to more players, and without this ukulele you wouldn't have the A10 series, the really premium flights made in the same facility as these. You wouldn't have the Carabo series, the Sus exclusive ukuleles with mango back and sides like these. But what makes this uke so special? Well, obviously the look, but if you take the look out of it, you've got an all solid mango body which creates a warm, it's a deep sound, it's poignant, it's expressive, it has lots of character and dynamics, but it still sounds inherently like a traditional ukulele, which is such an achievement. You have this spider's web style side sound port, you have a beveled edge, you have a scoop cutaway so you can reach the upper frets, which Sammy T, 4-string boy who visited the shop recently, takes full advantage of with his harmonics. This ukulele, when played with harmonics, is as good as anything at any price. I really think it's the perfect ukulele for an aspiring professional player. You have a comfort armrest there so you can reach over and play with comfort for a long time. You have a slotted headstock with the mango faceplate with these black tuners. The Flight Fireball Tenor is just a great ukulele. I really hope my enthusiasm comes across on camera. Let's give it a play and see what you think. thought we'd go from the Flight Fireball to something that maybe you've never seen or heard before. This is a Chris Perkins Barry tenor ukulele. Chris Perkins is a UK-based builder who builds quirky, exotic instruments for us here at Southern Ukulele Store. It has a spruce top. It has a zebrano back and sides, which is a solid zebra wood, an African zebra wood. Very, very similar in tonal possibilities to ebony, rosewood. It has lots of projection. It's a hardwood with lots of bounce to it. What makes this ukulele different though is the baritone body. It's not strictly a baritone body. You can see it has a unique shape. It's almost like a squared off cello shape to it. But the depth, oh man, the depth. This ukulele sounds more like a classical guitar than a classical guitar. The secret to the sound of this ukulele is the scale length. The scale length is the measurement from the nut down to the bridge. On a standard tenor, it would be 17 inches. On this ukulele, it's just over 18 inches. And that extra inch in tension on the strings creates more confidence, and I used the word bounce before, but that's the perfect way to describe this, because whatever you throw at this ukulele, it perfectly replicates what you're trying to do, and it has all of this projection. It just throws the noise across the room. Such a loud ukulele, and perfect for somebody that wants to play kind of more complicated fingerstyle pieces, but you want each note to really ring out. Finally, I can't overstate that the shape of this body is really comfortable. To look at, I find it quite jarring. Even now, I've seen maybe a dozen different Chris Perkins ukuleles. But when you put this ukulele on your lap, the shape of this lower bout just sits perfectly for me as a player. And I can't speak for everyone, but I think Chris is a really underrated builder in the ukulele world right now. I'm actually surprised that his ukuleles haven't found more of an audience overseas, because we've certainly sent quite a few of these outside of the UK in the past, which is a perfect time as a shop to remind you that this ukulele is available, and we do ship to many, many different countries around the world. So if you hear this ukulele in a moment and you think, that's the one I've been searching for, then check out the website. It might surprise you actually how affordable this instrument is to get to your country. Let's give it a play and see what you think. I don't know about you, but I think that one sounds amazing. That's my favourite Perkins we've had, I think.
That's just so good.
That sounded fucking sick.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd heard it before. Next up today, we're going to take a look at a KoAloha KTM-00. This is another ukulele that's just in the subconscious of the average ukulele player in 2022, because KoAloha have been doing this since the mid-90s. There's a fantastic family story, and they're a family-owned company. Pop Sakami, the father of the company, started building ukuleles using watchmaking tools that were very, very, very tiny. And as his instruments got bigger, he experimented with different bracing patterns, techniques, shapes, sizes, and came out with a design that was just bigger and louder and more unapologetic and untamed than other ukuleles at the time. If a Kamaka was a three-piece suit, a Tux, a Harley Davidson, a Fender, it was one of those lifestyle brands that defined the ukulele, then KoAloha's introduction in the ukulele world in the mid-90s was just this boisterous alternative. It was producing something that was louder, something that fit with a different kind of ukulele player. And now they really are the benchmark for how other ukulele brands that are innovative should be. And many of them draw inspiration from KoAloha. For example, Rebel, who have taken the KoAloha design and tweaked it and made it their own. But a KoAloha itself is just undeniable. It has the 5-point headstock crown up here. It has the unique body shape down here. If you were to put it in a brown bag and try and get somebody to identify the ukulele, it has so many things about it that make it unique that it's just undeniable. Let's give the KTM-00 a play and see what you think. Last up today, we have the AnueNue LION. This is a ukulele that we pretty much all know as well, because AnueNue took the UT200, one of the most famous ukuleles of the last 30, 40 years, and they made it orange, and they changed the spec in some key ways that makes a LION a completely different experience to a Moonbird. You have a cedar top underneath this orange finish, and you have Hawaiian koa back and sides. If the Moonbird is loud and unapologetic, then the LION is more refined, which is funny because when you look at it, it's the most ostentatious and eccentric ukulele we're going to look at today. It has an ebony fingerboard and bridge with front maple binding and back maple binding with a maple strip down the back. You have the cutaway for upper fret access. The ukulele is actually the signature ukulele of a band called LION, and they have their inlay just here by the 12th fret. It has a slotted headstock which differs to the Moonbird. Some people just prefer a slotted headstock. If you're wondering what the difference is, it's the angle. So a normal paddle headstock would traditionally be just a slightly less steep angle going out of the nut, but the slotted headstock pulls the strings at a slightly deeper break angle, which creates more tension. So in theory, this ukulele has slightly more tension than a AnueNue UT200. The cedar top is slightly warmer, and the Hawaiian koa back and sides are slightly more reserved and sweet and bubbly. Let's give the LION a play and see what you think. There you have it, folks. We've looked at another 10 ukuleles. Which was your favourite? Which one is on your bucket list of ukuleles you must own? Please do let us know in the comments section. If you have any questions, you can contact me or the team in store on 01202 430 820 or email me at alex@ukulele.co.uk. Hopefully I'll be back to doing sound samples next week when my cast comes off. Thank you everyone that sent me emails aside from the shop just to check that I'm okay. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a great day.